Let's get this adjusted. Get
I can help.
Everybody's head. There we go. I think that's pretty good. Welcome to Teal House Farm Live tonight. We're doing a shorter one tonight. Sam is studying for a big test, and I've been feeling kind of under the weather.
Hey!
Going to go to bed early, but we wanted to chat with you all because we missed you last week, and we missed talking to everybody. We always enjoy seeing everybody live and in the chat. So I hope everybody has had a great week, that all of our American viewers had good...
Give us a second.
There we go. Had a good Labor Day. Maybe you even got the day off if you're one of the lucky people who get to do that. So,
Sweet.
There we go. Ready. Got it. Welcome, Silver Moon. Thanks for joining us. And Pam is here, and Grammy is here. Welcome. Yeah. Say hi, Grammy. Mr. P's be in trouble, so he gets to join us tonight.
Are you trouble?
Can't keep him out of anything. Can't keep him in anything anymore. So, you want to talk about what's up with you first?
With school?
Yeah.
We're at week 4 of 8. So this is, once we're done with this, we're like, by next Sunday, I'll basically be at the halfway point of this term. So far, it's not been too bad. It's been mostly writing. I think I've said that quite a bit. But for these first 4 weeks, the writing's been like a lot of small discussion group type things. But these last 4 weeks are going to be some bigger, like, research project. Yay, you little goober. These last 4 weeks are going to be bigger, like, research project type things. So the papers are going to get a little bit bigger and a little bit more intense. Some of the things. So anyway, that's going to be fun. I've got to do. Because I'm taking public health and also my psych class. We've got to do a lot of like interviews and meetings. I have to go to a few recovery groups and then just kind of do a little self-reflection after going to those and such. So there's this term is a lot of little running around things, and a lot of little papers to write and such. So I feel like I've been at the computer, been reading a lot, and been at the computer a lot writing. This is probably the most I've ever written in my life at one time. And I don't feel like I'm a good writer. I'm a slow reader, and I'm a slow writer. But it's not been terrible. And I'm actually enjoying the 2 classes. Community health, I really enjoy learning about that. I think it's a pretty cool concept. And then the psych health is really interesting just to learn about. I mean, we're just skimming the top, as a nursing student when it comes to the psych stuff, unless that's what you want to go into. But it's really interesting just to think about the mind and what we've learned and how much they really don't know still about the mind. And then also my research class. I'm enjoying that too. I'm glad, we have a big paper due at the end of the term, big research project, but they're leaving it wide open, basically whatever kind of project you want to work on, and so I'm thankful for that. If they were like, this is what you got to do it on.
Not as excited. So.
Yeah.
Well, we got lots of people here. Tracy's here. Welcome. Iris Lady finally got rain. That's awesome. We've actually had beautiful fall weather. It's rained just enough. The fall garden is looking really good. It's been perfect.
Oh my goodness.
Haven't had to do much work. Hey. Shh. Let's see. And True Joy is here. Allison's here from Roanoke. Silver Moon. Duct Tape is your friend. Yes, I know. He can't get out of cloth diapers, which is nice, but I like to sleep him in a disposable because it keeps him dry all night long, and he knows how to take them off. So you have to make sure he is in something that he cannot get out of to make sure he doesn't take his diaper off. Otherwise you wake up in the morning and the diaper's on the floor and there's a naked baby in the crib. So, Charlie and Judy are here, welcome. And Homestead Nana is here and from Massachusetts. Welcome, everybody.
Hey.
So today was a fun day, and it was exciting. So Annie has been working really, really hard after her first surgery in February. So we hit the 6-month mark, and we went today for a couple things, actually. So the first thing was we thought she might need glasses because she's having a really hard time with all her kindergarten, paper skills. And hi. And it turns out that she does need glasses. And so we went today and she got to pick out some eyeglass frames, and that was fun. Letting her try them on. She thought she was a superstar. So.
I got you right now, Mr.
But hopefully
P.
now she'll see a little better, and
I got you right now, Mr.
school
P.
stuff will be a little bit easier, all the pre-reading and pre-writing stuff. And then we took her to see the orthopedic surgeon.
She was really excited to pick out her own glasses.
She has purple ones.
She knew exactly what she wanted. He really wants you. I can take him away if you want, but she told us before she even went she really wanted purple glasses, and we told her you gotta be careful because
they might not have them.
They might not have purple glasses, but they did in fact have a pair of purple glasses. So she was super excited about that. And I think her sisters are going to be jealous because she got the transition lenses.
So they turn into sunglasses.
The glasses came with that, and so they turn into sunglasses. So she's going to be a pretty cool chick.
Yeah,
but
she's
she was
super
excited about that. Anyway.
And then we took her to see the orthopedic surgeon. I guess you're just going to have to take him. He's just being naughty. He's naughty all the way through now.
I'll be right back.
So we took her to see an orthopedic surgeon. So if you've been following along our journey, when we first tried to figure out what to do to help her walk better, the first thing we did is consulted with an orthopedic surgeon about what they call a tendon transfer, which is when they actually take the tendons that go down the sides of your ankle and they flip them. Because for her, part of her leg muscles don't work correctly, so the tendon attached to those leg muscles is really tight, and then the one on the opposite side is too slack. From being pulled all the time, and so they would actually switch them, which would straighten her foot out. But it's apparently not a fun procedure, and it's pretty painful. And so we opted to do this first surgery on her back first to get rid of the spasticity in her muscles. And they still wanted to do the tendon transfer surgery in June. And we decided at that point we didn't want to put her through it in the summer because every little kid, they want to go like play in the water and stuff. She would spend the summer in a wheelchair, and that wouldn't be fun. And so I talked to the surgeon at that time, and I was like, is there a big difference between if we do it in June or if we did it in like September, October? And he was like, not really. And he was fine with that. So anyway, today we went to go do her check in with him to get things organized for the surgery, and he actually came in and he said, well, she improved so much over the summer that she doesn't need it anymore, that her foot's a lot straighter and looks a lot better, and he doesn't see any reason to do that surgery now. So
he wasn't like, it's kind of borderline, but I think like he walked in and he was like, oh, just looked at her x-ray, like literally pushed her foot once and was like, she looks great, she doesn't need the surgery. Just like that. He was like, it looks, there was like no doubt in his mind.
So I feel really good that we opted to postpone, because in June she really needed it. Her foot was still really sideways, and I just didn't want her to miss out on summer. Like she already missed out on winter because of her back surgery, and then you'd be like, oh, you get to miss all the fun summer stuff too. Like that felt horrible. So it's like, well, if we do it in the fall, starting to get colder, and she'd still be up and moving around by Christmas. So I thought that was the better plan, but turned out just to be, maybe God giving us a little nudge to wait a little bit longer. And
he said, basically, just keep doing what we're doing. He wasn't like, but if we're not going to do surgery, then you need to add like more therapy, and you need to add this stuff. He was like, no, just keep doing what you're doing. It's looking good. And he just wants to see her in
we'll continue to follow up with him every 6 months to a year. It's not like with this sort of thing, it's never a guarantee because she still has a lot of growing to do. So eventually she might still need it. It could the spasticity will never come back, but her muscles are not normal. So like she could still grow a little crooked. And so we just keep an eye on it. But I think as long as she continues therapy at some level through puberty, like there's a good chance that we could probably avoid this, or at least avoid it for a really long time, which would be great. And it would be much easier to do a surgery, I feel like this. I feel like if she was a little bit older, because trying to explain to a 6-year-old, like, you cannot get out of your wheelchair. Like the doctor said, you cannot put weight on your foot. Like that would be hard. But if she was 10, it would be easier to explain to her. So, let's see. Tracy and Holly and Tizzy, thank you all so much. We are definitely excited for that. And Tracy says any chance she could outgrow it. She sort of has, because we removed the spasticity But the problem is every time, because her muscles aren't the same as like everybody else's muscles, every time she grows, things don't always grow straight. It's kind of hard to explain, but the way that you walk, like a normal person walks, when you walk, that stretch on your leg muscles when you're a kid is what signals your legs to grow. And so when you don't walk normally or walk like everybody else and have an unusual gait, your muscles don't get the same signal, so then your legs don't grow symmetrically. It's the best way I can explain it. But wearing the therapy and wearing her bracing and stuff helps provide that stretch to mimic what should be happening if she walked the same way as everybody else.
Essentially, like really long term with Annie, we won't know where she's gonna end up until she's done with puberty. That's kind of the big thing is puberty, because they grow so fast in such a short amount of time. You don't know what's gonna happen,
Right.
kind of.
So
you game plan for it as best you can, but once she's done with puberty, then we'll kind of know where she's gonna end up.
And that's the hardest thing, like looking forward to our future. What we're talking about, should we build a new house that's more accessible for her or not? Because you don't know, like, what is she going to be like at 14? She could still be, running and jumping and doing stairs like everybody else, or it could be getting a lot harder for her, and we never want her to feel trapped in her house. So trying to figure all that out. So Grandpa Dan is here, and Morgan from Shaw Farm. Thanks for stopping by. We've been doing great. We've been enjoying the nice fall weather.
Today was like
beautiful,
a perfect fall day. You wake up and it was like 45 or so, and then by the middle of the afternoon it was like 72, 73. It was beautiful.
The kids decided they were going to make kites today, so that was really cute. They were outside. But then they decided, sometimes I feel like our kids, they don't think it all the way through. Like, they decided it was really windy, and so they were going to let them go and see how far they went. And I was like, that's probably not a good idea, because what are you going to do if they go in the electric fence? Like, and of course, somebody ended up crying because their kite went, just way in there with all the goats and the sheep. And I was like, well, you can turn the fence off and go in and get it if you really want it. But, so that was kind of cute. But it was cute. It kept them busy. So Tracy says, I pray she's restored to perfection. God can do anything. And we know that's true. And we're just thankful for however far she goes. Like, we're very thankful for every opportunity she has that she does better and just is however she is supposed to be. We are thankful for that.
Yeah.
So
when when she started, they tell you, the doctors and everybody, they try to be honest with you, and they're like, there's a chance she may never walk. Like, she might not, you don't know when because we caught it. How old was she when?
We knew something was wrong by the time she was 5 months old,
Yeah.
and then she had an MRI at 9 months. And the picture is pretty shocking, like how much of her brain is damaged from bleeding. And they were like, the areas that are damaged, she may never walk. It's, the language center is affected. She may never talk.
So you just don't, you don't know. And it's one thing I do like about Facebook is the memories they have. And they pop up every so often of us seeing Annie start to crawl and stuff, and which is so exciting because we didn't know that was going to happen or not. So
That's
she's
really
come
neat.
a long, long way.
Let's see. Refining Roots, welcome. Thank you for joining us. We are doing great. And Silvermoon says, it's still hot in here in North Carolina. I'm so over it. My family lives in North Carolina, some of them, and they were all posting pictures of, it looked like monsoon weather. So maybe, I know North Carolina is a big state, so maybe that's not true, but I heard it was pretty darn rainy out there this week. So hopefully your garden didn't get too flooded. So anyway, since we're all here, we got 25. Maybe somebody has experience. I'm trying to decide what to do here. We have a Nigerian dwarf goat. His name is Victor. Victor.
You gotta say it with a little more of a sneer in your
sneering
voice.
Victor.
Victor.
Victor and I don't like each other very much. It's mostly one-sided. And we have our sheep that are going to the butcher in December.
He's not like bad or mean. He's just naughty.
Bad. He's bad.
He's naughty.
He is naughty. If there's trouble that could be caused, Victor will figure out how to cause it. And it drives me absolutely insane.
He's the one animal where you're like, it'll be okay as long as they don't get over here, or they don't mess with this. Like, it'll be fine. And he's always the goat that gets in that one spot.
Yeah. Okay. And anyway, he doesn't need to be spreading his genes around our farm. We'll put it that way. So anyway, I'm trying to decide, when we send this sheep in to get butchered, I was thinking about just sending Victor along. But a Nigerian dwarf goat, what do you think he weighs? 50 pounds? 60 pounds?
I think he's gonna weigh more than you
Think
think. I mean, they're short and stocky, but I think by the time December rolls around, I bet he'll weigh like 80 pounds or so.
Okay, well, I just don't want to send a goat in and you pay the butcher fee and you're like, woo, that meat was $22 a pound or whatever. Like, if it's enough meat to be worth sending him in. That would be my question. I posted this in a homestead group that we're on Facebook.
Our video over there.
Oh.
Paused. I don't know if it's... Sorry. Our live stream over
Let
here
us
paused.
know
I
if
just want to
we're
make sure
looking
we're...
okay and you're in. It may be my laptop here. Let me know.
I've hit live down here and it should catch it up.
Let me know if it's...
There we go.
All right, Morgan says you won't get much meat. It'll end up being $20 a pound. You're better off doing it yourself. Easier than dressing a deer. So, yeah, that's a lot of people on the homestead group. But I had these visions of me butchering a goat with 6 little kids running around. Like, I mean, people did it. I could do it. Actually, and I actually asked my friend Adrian, who has a bunch of little kids too. I was like, so I had this idea. Maybe if you came over and we just kind of saw what happened. Because I figured the worst thing is, well, we would be very careful and make sure that he wasn't, that it was swift. But the worst thing would be that we really screwed it up and the meat cuts were all weird and, maybe, but it'd be a learning
usable,
experience.
But it might not look too pretty.
And it wouldn't be super expensive. So it is on my maybe list. My biggest concern is I don't want to, we have some children that are more sensitive about animals and are really in love with some of the animals. They're little, so I don't want to traumatize anybody, but it is fact of life. So just kind of weighing those balances.
Yeah, when we've butchered chickens before, though, we were worried about that because they were younger, and they kind of...
They didn't care too much.
We just... I felt like Laura and I acted like it was a matter of fact, kind of like, this is how you get meat, and this is what you do, and they just kind of adopted that as little kids. And every so often, they'll still ask and be like, Dad, are you going to kill any more chickens? Like, maybe, not right now.
Not right now.
Not this time of life, but in the future. We see.
Let's see.
JB,
welcome.
Yep.
All right,
Hello.
someone says everything looks fine. I think it was just my laptop was being weird. So, and Goldtrust says even if you don't do a great job, it's a good learning experience, and I think that's true. So, just trying to figure out what to do. We've never had goat meat either, which is the other reason.
No.
I've eaten lamb before, which is so I'm excited about getting those sheep butchered because I grew up with lamb, but can't really find it out here. But the goat never tried, so I'm like, man, if I spend all that money too, and we're like, this is gross, then I'd be really disappointed.
We had a few goats that some friends bought from us. Was it just last year or was it 2 years ago? Anyway, they butchered them and they had like a goat roast with a few families, and they said it was incredible. And so that's
and
when
he built a whole fire pit.
Yeah, he had a whole pit for it. It was pretty cool. But once he did that, we thought, well, maybe we should try some because we've had goats for a while, but we've never butchered any. So.
No, we've just milked them. So, good night, Grandpa Dan. Thanks for stopping by. So, Grandpa Dan just drove like halfway across the country today to, I don't know what he's doing, but he went somewhere for a job. He's probably performing. Grandpa Dan is a traveling musician, so he's probably performing somewhere. So, what else we got on the docket here?
You start to get things ready for winter now that it's getting cold. I mean, we talked about that in our last live stream, mostly about trying to get your water situation taken care of, making sure if you're gonna winter your animals that you've got your hay and such taken care of. You've got good shelters for them.
We do have to. We're trying to decide. We have a winter coop for the chickens. We usually move them down there, but I really like having them in the front. So we're trying to figure out if we can winterize the little coop we have now.
I think we could if we spent some time on it. It's a movable coop that we've had, but it's mostly for the summertime. Like, it's pretty breezy. But I think if we took some of your
greenhouse plastic?
Yeah, greenhouse plastic and wrapped it, it would make it usable. I think it would be pretty good for it.
I like having them up front, and it's mostly just lazy, but it's really close to like the water source, and they're right there when you want to check for eggs.
You can keep an eye on them.
And also, I don't know what what we were thinking. But we built that winter coop at the bottom of a hill, and then it's like 5 degrees and icy out, and it's like a slip and slide.
No, it's worse than that. We built it up here and we moved
it down there.
Dragged it down
Sometimes
there. So it was.
I question our life choices on some of these things.
It was worse than that. We didn't just build it down there.
We would love to move the coop up, but we got it down the hill, but there's no way we are getting it back up the hill.
It's not put together very well. Like it's put together well enough for chickens, but not enough, I don't think, to drag it up the hill and across the lawn. So yeah, I think it'll fall apart.
I think we'll probably be working on that soon. So let's see. Silver Moon says, have you decided yet if you're going to build a house or fix up the current one? I think we're leaning pretty strongly towards building. A lot of that.
I wouldn't say that that's definite yet. That's not for sure what we're gonna do, but I think we're leaning that way.
There just seems to be a lot more benefit, at least especially for Annie's future, if we had a house that was just built with more accessibility for her. But
we could, and that's not to say, because we know if we redid this house,
we could make it more accessible.
We'd have to kind of start from scratch with it in a lot of respects. That we could probably make it accessible as well.
So.
But the real benefit is you can design something from scratch with a new house, which helps with Annie and with having 6 kids.
Yeah,
because there are some things with that many kids that we would change that might be a little different from a normal.
I will say we
house.
know that they raised bunches of kids in this house anyway. In the past, it's possible,
That's
but they probably had more than one outhouse. That's all Sam cares about in life. He wants a second bathroom.
That's very true.
And a front porch. So.
Let's see. We named our steers names, which told of their outcome: chuck roast, sirloin, and Billy beefsteak. I like it.
My sister has a friend who has a pig, and they named him Kevin Bacon. And I thought that was silly. So no, the girls named him Victor, and we got Victor because we thought he would breed our Saanen doe, right?
No, she's a Nubian doe.
Okay, and because we wanted to
buck.
That's right. We wanted to create a smaller milk goat was the goal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Basically, but nasty little Victor is not. I don't want his genes. Well, we can maybe try again with a different goat, but he's not the type of goat that I would want to spread his genes around and have more of him. So we could try again with somebody else. But the sheep have done really good, and I'm excited about that. So I think next year I'm really interested in getting breeding pairs. This year we just kind of bought the cheapest ones we could find because we didn't know what we were doing, and we just wanted to try it.
We didn't want to make a big investment in sheep.
But since we're already set up for goats, the sheep was like nothing really. They didn't, other than we changed the feed over because they can't have the goat feed with the copper. It's really exactly the same.
And they've been really easy on the fences as well. The goats they're so smart, man. Like they know if that fence is down or if it's off or if there's a hole.
As soon as they hear it stop zinging, they run right through it.
Yeah.
Like even if you unplug it to like fill the water, they hear it stop and they're like, woo! And through the fence they go.
Yeah, the sheep though, at least I think they're a lot easier on the fences. They're not quite as bright either.
Yeah, they're not. They are kind of dumb. So, but then they don't really get out. So every once in a while, yeah. Let's see. Silver Moon says, I know somebody who named their boar Snoop Hogg.
I like that one.
We have a chicken named Nelly Nugget. That's cute.
That is cute.
My favorite pig, though, of all time is at Cog Hill Farm. It's Peaches. If you don't know who Peaches is, you need to look up Cog Hill Farm on Instagram or YouTube, and it's like their mascot.
Someday I'm gonna have a Peaches for President shirt. That's my one of my favorite.
400-pound hog who just waddles around his farm.
It would be interesting to know how much she's a pop. I think she's a pot belly
You cannot
pig.
ask the lady her weight. Right?
I guess that's true. Especially a pig that popular.
Yeah.
Peaches, she's cute. They have her face plastered all over a lot of their stuff.
Their mascot. His stuff always makes me laugh. He's really funny. I appreciate his humor. Yeah. That's what we got going on.
That's pretty much it.
But it is a crazy beginning to... I can't believe it's only Monday. Like, oh my gosh. We did all that today. It was just Monday.
It's
all
true.
those appointments and... That was crazy. So... But it's good to have good news because we were really tired. We did not want. I feel so bad putting her through another surgery because you make decisions for your child in their best interest. But she's 6, like she doesn't really understand, and she's the one that has to do all the therapy afterwards and go through the recovery phase and stuff. And it was so hard to do that to her the first time, even though the outcome has been so good. But be like, hey, remember, we're gonna do that one more time.
Yeah, I do
just
think
feel terrible.
I do think that's the hardest part of having a kid that has to go through some of these surgeries and then really all of the therapy afterwards is you wish you could ask them and like weigh the pros and cons and stuff, but
they
a
don't understand.
5-year-old or a 6-year-old, like they're not gonna understand. And if you ask them like, do you want to go to surgery, they're gonna be like, no. Like, who wants to do that?
No, she'd probably be like, do I get McDonald's after?
Probably,
that would be her
yeah.
But they
Does
don't
it come with perks?
Yeah,
That would be
what
her.
perks do I get?
Silvermoon says Peaches is the farm boss.
Yes, she is.
That's right.
She is. They built a house.
Mm-hmm.
They built like a barn-demonium house. I do think if we built, I still want something that looks older.
Mm-hmm.
I want something with character. I don't know why. Don't really have a good reason. I want to drive up to my house and be like,
oh, character, yeah.
looks like my house.
I know. That's why we like this one.
Yeah,
It's
and
a
it
lot
is
of
why
character.
we like this one.
It doesn't look like most anything else out there. Do you have any updates on a fall garden stuff?
Yeah, so the fall garden's pretty small. I mean, you watched the video. There's just not a lot of time to plant stuff. I am going to plant the greenhouse here probably in another week or two. Just spinach and lettuce. I find that's all I've tried other things, but sometimes you can get a little too crazy with what you grow, and then you don't eat it all. I don't know if that makes sense, but like we eat the spinach, we eat the lettuce like super regularly.
You might as well grow what you use a lot.
Yeah, and so like I grew so many radishes last year, but we didn't eat them all because the kids don't really like them. I don't even know if you like radishes, and I like them sometimes.
Sometimes it depends,
but not like every day. And so I think we'll just do lettuces and spinach, and then spring and summer is where I just grow everything, and then so take it easier in the fall. But the greenhouse will be growing more stuff. It's nice to have that. I don't know. I like lettuce and spinach like all the time. I like spinach in my eggs. I like stuff on my sandwiches. I love salads. And so we just go through so much of it. Saves a lot of money not buying it all from the store. So
it's nice.
And it's nice that it's fresh and crisp every time you want it.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it's getting cold outside, but you still have some fresh stuff. Yeah. It's nice.
And if you are thinking to yourself that you would like to grow food, like spinach and lettuce are things that they're not technically ever bearing. I can't think of what the word is, but if you're careful with how you pick, like from the outer circle, it'll continually grow out for a while. So even a couple small pots, inside your house somewhere that can get sunlight, you can produce a decent amount of lettuce or spinach for yourself, and not really do that much work. So have you tried roasted or fried radishes? I have not. Apparently I need to...
fried radishes, I could get behind that.
Somebody told me to put them in a crock pot with a roast, like you would a potato, but to do radishes. I think it was your mom. So I might have to try that too. But
that sounds good. I'd try that. Let's see what
maybe I will grow radishes this year.
Tara's here.
Welcome, Tara. Thanks for joining us. So
I don't know what that tastes like. A radish cooked like a potato.
People
like
say
that.
It's not spicy anymore.
Okay.
It tastes kind of like a turnip, I guess. I don't know. But I don't know that I've ever eaten a turnip either. Have you ever eaten a turnip?
Maybe in something. Not by itself.
Not by itself. We grow turnips. Try something new. It's always fun. That's one thing I love about spring. I like trying new things. And a lot of times I fail the first time, which is okay. And then the next year you do better. No, the most disappointing thing was one year I decided I was going to grow strawberry spinach. And I tried like 3 years in a row, and I finally got it to grow. And it was gross. Like it just, no parts of it. The berries were absolutely tasteless, and the lettuce was really bitter. It was like an heirloom, heritage American plant. And I was so excited I finally grew it. And then nobody liked it, and nobody ate it. And I was like, man, all those years trying, and it was not our thing. So.
Holly says, no, radishes taste more like a potato, just the texture is different.
Okay, and ZC says, you can use radishes in soups and stews like you would potatoes. They turn out tasting pretty much just like potatoes. And JB, you will hardly know it's a radish once they're roasted. Well, maybe I do need to grow radishes and expand my horizons. I only ever eat them raw. Like, I've never actually tried to cook them in anything, so might be a good idea.
Yeah. Now we got some ideas for radishes.
See, this is why we do live streams. You guys always give us such good ideas.
That's true.
So, I think we might call it an early night because I am not feeling my best, and Sam has got to study for his big test.
It's true.
But we really appreciate you all stopping by and chatting with us, and we'll try to be. I think next week. Are you doing anything next week?
Next week.
Oh, you are.
Yeah, next week.
No live next week. Yeah.
Next week I'm doing a clinical on a psych floor at a hospital.
So
8
tune
hours
us
there.
in 2 weeks to see how Sam fared.
They will lock the doors behind us for 8 hours while we're there. But it should be. I'm actually kind of interested in. It's gonna be pretty much observing. They told us that our badges won't work for anything. Every single door is locked. Like everything, even like drawers and things, everything's locked up. So we're pretty much there just to observe and get in the way.
Yeah.
But anyway, after reading through our textbook and being halfway done with it, I'm still kind of interested.
Here, you want to say bye?
looking.
We're getting ready to sign off. Do you want to say bye?
My tablet died.
Okay.
Here, come say bye,
So
little JJ.
we gotta get little people to bed too, right, JJ?
Oh, are you?
Are you that tired?
shy?
Are you-
Are you being shy, JJ?
So, we will see you guys then in 2 weeks, and we don't have our regular videos up too. So you gotta look here. This is where they see you.
Look, up here.
Up here. Say
There you
bye. Bye, everyone. Thanks
Thank
so much.
you so much for hopping on. We
We'll see
appreciate
you later.
it.
No.
Have a good week.
No, 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 no,
No, no, no, no.